in the cabbage.
Welcome to In the Cabbage. This is crazy.
This is pretty bananas right now that we're actually doing this.
I'm Tommy Swain, Andrew Witt. Please subscribe, please listen, please download, like. And just a reminder, keep swinging. Welcome back to In the Cabbage. It's your boy, Tommy Swain. To my right, or your left, Andrew Witt.
What up, my peeps?
What up, buddy? We are back for another episode. You know, count us out, but we are going to be missing a couple weeks here because your boy is going to be in Philadelphia for a couple weeks.
Time. It's big time.
You know, land
not
another
Chicago.
job.
Not Chicago.
Not Chicago.
I had that one real flipped up in my head. I don't know where I got that one.
Well,
but
a lot of people
Philly,
also
baby.
didn't know Philly was in Pennsylvania.
Yeah, I mean, the whole East Coast. I might as well just be just a tundra of land. I have no idea what's going on over there.
Right. Philadelphia is in Pennsylvania, which is 2 hours away from Pittsburgh and also 2 hours away from Manhattan.
Really?
Yeah.
It's only 2 hours away from Manhattan?
Mm-hmm.
See, again, I have no idea.
So your boy's going to be heading out there. He got a new job. We're not going to disclose too much of the company name or anything like that. But boy's got a new job, sales job. Very excited.
Well worth the wait.
It seems like it's going to be a really good fit. This will be my, final test, I think, for sales for me. This seems like a very stable job. I have a good book of clients. It sounds like
Fire.
a team that's willing to help and support and not just,
Throw you to the wolves out there and just figure it out.
Yeah.
Like your last gig, that was super fun.
Or the gig before that, no books of clients, nothing I can really bring to the table on that aspect. But
nothing like cold calling to really bring up your spirits, huh?
yeah, nothing like being told like they're not interested about 55 times a day for you to really and you know what,
it's hard to bring the same fire to every call when you're just expecting there's a 1% chance here that he's going to say yes.
And when
Or
he
she.
does, then you have to then you have to somehow schedule a meeting with them in their time. They have to accept that meeting, right? Then they actually have to show up to the meeting.
Right.
And then they actually have to be a good fit because some of the industries I was selling in was so niche that some of these people would be interested in something I was selling, and then when I was pitching what we were doing, they had no real tangible understanding of what my job was.
Sure.
Which was IT and engineering consulting, right? So it's a very niche spot in what people need, and most of the time, these huge tech companies already have these types of vendors on.
I was going to say a lot of the time, it's really difficult for a company to totally switch gears.
Right.
And why would I just abandon ship on what's kind of been working?
And they don't really have the deciding power to even do something like that. And the other one was recruiting for the construction industry and engineering. So again, it's but
Very
those
niche.
people in the construction industry are so flaky, hard to get a hold of. Most of them aren't decision makers. Most of them don't want to hear your bullshit. And even if you get someone on, I had a sale locked down. And they offered him the wrong job. They switched it at the last minute.
Right.
And they're we're not interested in him doing that anymore. We want him to do this.
Perfect. Just fumbling on the goal line. Why don't we?
Yeah.
We've been searching for one for months now, and then this happens.
And fumble Rooski.
Yeah, buddy, I'm really stoked for you. One, it just sounds like a really solid situation.
Mm-hmm.
The book of business is awesome. I mean, that's the biggest thing. And then
Right.
two, it's an established corporation. You're going to know the clientele.
Mm-hmm.
I feel like it fits you very well in a sense of what you're actually going to be doing and selling, right? Because you're kind of already that person, I don't mind to get a little techie. And I'd be very personable with you at the same time as well.
Yeah. I'm hoping that, it seems like a good fit. It seems like maybe not the last shot at sales, but it definitely feels that way for me. This is the first time I've really gotten a true feel of what it could be. But yeah, man, going to Philadelphia, I'm hyped. I'm going out there early to meet the team. You're going to be doing a lot of traveling for this job, at least 2 times a week. Not every week, but it will come up.
Yeah, that's cool. Do you know where, roughly?
All West Coast. Nevada,
Okay.
Oregon,
Nice.
Washington.
Nice.
Hoping New Mexico might be fun to go out there and check out. I've never been to New Mexico. So all local flights.
Great golf courses over there, huh?
Yeah, I'm hoping that they actually let me ship my sticks out. And if I'm like free, at a decent time,
Yeah.
maybe I can go hit a couple.
Or you just do it on your own accord.
Yeah, man.
Schedule a couple meetings, 8, 10 o'clock. Knock those out.
There's a certain
rounds.
mandatory amount of meetings, from what I understand, you have to use in order to qualify to go out there.
Yeah.
So I'm pretty sure I have to have like a pretty good size of
Makes sense.
meetings, but maybe I could get all my meetings done by like 3
Right.
and go play at 9 at like 3:30 or whatever. Who knows? It could be awesome. But yeah, I'm going to go out there. I'm hoping to catch a couple things in Philly. I'm going to do a Philly cheesesteak tour. So be on the lookout for that.
Of course you have to.
I might put a little review out there on the In the Cabbage podcast for the people. I've taken notes from a couple YouTube channels on their favorite cheesesteak places. Mm-hmm. I'm going to go do Gino's and Pat's. People say you have to. I'm not really looking forward to it because it seems so commercialized now that it's like, they're not going to be the best steaks for sure. So I'm probably going to do it, but I'm not going to be like jazzed. I'm probably not going to finish the cheesesteaks. I'll probably just take a bite of each and pick which one my favorite is.
Why don't you just do like 1 or 2 of the main ones, like the really popular
Gino's and
ones?
Pat's are like, it's like the one is across the street from the other one.
I see.
Have you seen that?
Yeah.
It's like they're both really commercialized. They're across the street from each other. There's like a rivalry. So I'll go out there and just try a bite of each, pick my favorite, and then hopefully my team will leave me alone for one day so I can go out and do my little tour.
Then you got to find like a little family owned.
I got family owned. I got like a little bit of one that's a little bit more artisanal that makes their own cheese whiz.
Ooh, there you
stuff
go.
like that. And I got like the neighborhood one going.
I love that.
And then I'm probably going to go to the Rocky Stairs.
What's that?
Where Rocky, you don't watch movies. Rocky.
Oh, yeah, of course.
Runs up the stairs. Go to the Rocky Stairs.
I should have known that. Just flew right over my head for a little bit
okay.
there.
I mean, I just want to make sure you've seen the movie. And then
come on now, of course, the Fighting Stallion.
Yeah.
Oh, that was a rough. That was a rough pronunciation.
you sound like me out there. It's also so Philly to put like a statue of of a fake person.
Yeah, isn't that crazy?
Like he's not even a real person, but it meant so much for the city. They like put a statue of.
Put him on the map, baby. That and the Philly cheesesteak.
That's crazy. And then I'll probably the last Thursday I'm there. Friday I leave. Eagles are in town.
I feel like you gotta go to that game, bro.
It's Eagles Washington Thursday night football.
That's gonna be a great game. The Commanders are a solid team this year, dude.
I know. I think I'm just gonna buy like the cheapest seats I can do and just like watch the game from like one of their bars. I'm sure that has it going on in the stadium.
Yeah,
just
walk around a little bit. Yeah.
And
that's
maybe
cool,
like
dude.
go sit in my seats for like a hot second and then just get out of there.
Get a vibe of like the crowd, maybe how like hostile it is. Hot take: I feel like the crowds on the East Coast though will give that side of the United States this total tip of the cap is like, they take their sports very seriously.
Well, that's what West Coast, you get these guys out here, like the selling point is, better places to live.
Right.
The connections, the money, stuff like that. That's all West Coast, And the East Coast, like what you get is tax exemptions and the fans. Mm-hmm. The fans are such a huge, they care and live and breathe. And if you're a player like an Anthony Edwards that kind of lives for that gas, even though he's on a West Coast team, would kind of thrive out there on that.
I see that.
That pressure. But
what about seeing the 76ers go and play?
I was thinking about doing that as well.
Yeah.
I don't know. I was going to go see the Flyers play.
Ooh, that'd be fun.
They're trash, though.
Yeah, but maybe they got a good team that's in town.
Yeah, so I might just try to catch some sporting events.
I thought they were halfway decent last year.
I think so. Maybe they're starting out poor. I'll see when I get out there.
Okay.
I mean, I got some options to, do out there and have some fun. So, you know what? I don't know what it is, man. I get on this podcast and I start talking. I'm not even tired. I don't start yawning.
I know.
I don't know what it is.
I got to set my game up. That's what it is.
No, it's not that. It's like maybe the podcast is that boring. Definitely not. But it's talking. Maybe at a pace that
it's a cozy corner.
It's
comfy, cozy corner.
Maybe it just make me feel like home, buddy. That's what it is.
Probably. Probably.
Anything
candle going. If there was a candle going and then the lights were dimmer, I wouldn't blame you.
Maybe we make out a little bit.
Yeah, okay. Now we're setting the mood. Now we're getting somewhere. Then we start opening up like a little Patreon.
Ooh.
You can like sign in, see us like make out a little bit.
There you go. That'd be an OnlyFans.
Okay, an OnlyFans? What's
Yeah.
Patreon?
Patreon would be
Like fans?
If we
area?
wanted to release like an extra episode a week. If you want to hear some extra.
Well, there you go. Bonus filthy content.
There you go. Make out we call it the Cozy Corner Makeout Session.
I grab your beard in weird angles.
Ooh, there you go. My beard is itchy. I need to shave this thing down.
Bro, I did No Shave November once, and I had the worst rash under my neck and jawline
When was this?
when I was over in London.
Okay.
I could not wait to shave that shit.
Did Austin
I looked
convince you to do that?
horrific. Yeah, I mean, everyone did it on our team. I'm like,
That's great.
You know what? Let's give it a ride. Katie's not here. She can't see any. Or she's not going to see it every single day.
Right.
We've got nothing else going on.
Did you grow it in a little bit? Like how full was it?
I mean, just it's patchy as all hell. It's basically like a shrub in a desert.
Really? Oh, that's tough.
It's few and far between, bro.
Oh, no.
Stash, not even that great either. It's definitely like that Asian, like old man looking stash, right? Where you can see like the individual like hairs,
Yeah.
and they're just like not flowing or they're not bushy and filling out. Mm-hmm. It's just a bad mix of everything. And then I was like ginger a little bit. It was hysterical.
It was just
but also
crazy
it was
beard.
yeah, it was wild. Well, I don't even know if we can call it a beard, man.
I mean, it didn't matter what you were doing out there because no matter what, you were drinking about it.
Of course. I mean,
Did you-
acting a fool, doing crazy stuff. Didn't
That's
matter
great.
what I looked like.
How dominant were you out there? If you had to rank yourself as outsides out there.
I was pretty good. I don't know, like for the university league,
Yeah.
there was I would say there was like probably 3 or 4 like outsides that were on the same level, and maybe like 1 or 2 that was like
Slightly better.
Yeah.
And then at the like club level?
The club level, that was a big difference. Like those guys could actually play because it was like semi-professional. Like we got smacked by like one club team like every single time, but they like actually had money and paid their players. That's the one that I wanted to go and play for. But it was also like a 2-hour like train ride away.
Tough.
So I just opted to play for the one that was like ran out of our school, walking distance, right from my dorm. I mean, like no brainer there. Like I'm not there to play volleyball per se. I was there to like just experience, have fun, and like, you know, do volleyball comfortably and still competitively. I don't know. That's tougher. I would say in the top 20%, 30% probably.
Yeah.
I just wasn't dominating like I would like at the university level. We play some teams and just smack them down. Like we just beat them like 25-12, like every set.
Damn. Is there like any?
We got to the silver. We won silver.
Right.
So that was fire, like in our league.
I remember watching the gold match online.
We just didn't have our stuff that day. It just wasn't clicking.
That's unfortunate.
Yeah, it's a really big bummer. And I mean, I played like okay, but everyone else was just not.
Not bringing it.
Yeah, it just wasn't our night. Wasn't our night.
That's
you know, it
unfortunate.
happens.
And that's the university level, right?
Right.
I remember the girls being there going crazy,
Oh, going nuts.
going nuts.
It was so much fun, dude.
That's a
and
good
then
time.
matches were on Wednesday, and you were done for the week.
Yeah, I mean it's all time.
That's unbelievable. What is that? That schedule
Because you would practice,
set yourself up for the ultimate raging life. Are you
'cause
kidding
then
me?
you practice what Thursday, cool down Thursday. It's like a little
No,
lift.
Thursday off.
Friday off.
Friday serve and pass.
So after serving pass, you guys would fly out somewhere for the weekend.
Yeah. Isn't that crazy?
Would you guys ever miss serving pass?
We did, but also like season wasn't rolling like all year round, right? So there were plenty of times where like, okay, off season we did have like, if we didn't have a match, we'd go like Monday through Thursday practice, Friday like maybe a serve and pass here or there. But the times that we didn't, we would, yeah, that's what
But
we
you
would
could,
travel.
you basically could miss that serving pass. And no one would say shit to you.
Yeah, I mean, I don't know.
You were the Taylor Crab of.
they were also giving me like a little bit of money too, like a small scholarship. So like I couldn't like,
Totally fuck off.
that's just not my nature, I guess.
No, definitely not.
Right? Like, I don't know.
You never take advantage of a situation that
That's true.
You could.
That's
easily.
true. But I definitely asked plenty of times, like, about, like, they understand, right? They know you're not there. Like, you already played college ball, most of everyone that comes over, if you're getting recruited for that situation.
Right.
And it's not like a serve and pass is like make or break, right? And like some guys, like the level is just so laxed, and guys will just like not show up to practice like all the time. I'm like, what is happening right now? This is crazy to me.
When you made your decision to like go overseas, cause I remember it vaguely. At that time, I think we both were just like maybe a little burnt out from living with each other so long that we weren't really like fully communicating at the level we probably would now.
It's just tough though because the time change, right?
Yeah, like what made you make
that decision?
Yeah, like to go like because you could have made me. I remember not vividly, like very mildly that you could have had other choices to go play like overseas and not get a college degree. Mm-hmm. But now that I'm kind of asking is because the kinesiology thing, right?
A little bit, but I didn't study kinesiology like in London over there. I just did business, right? It was just like
it was an actual business.
One, it was honestly, truth be told, one of the easier degrees. So right. Like I literally just wrote 4 to 5 papers a semester. That was it.
Right.
You know, and you just didn't have any tests. You didn't have like any quizzes. You just had to like show up and just like turn in like maybe a midterm if they required it, and then like a final exam or a paper. And you're just like cruising through that. But back to your question, I feel like there's a certain amount of players that can only be on international teams for like clubs. You can only have 2. And so because of that, you have to be at an exceptional level in order to play on one of those clubs. So it's significantly more difficult if you are a libero, and it is very difficult if you are a setter. Mm-hmm. And then middle blocker, and then outside and pins, basically, right? But obviously, like I knew that I wasn't that good enough. Like I wasn't that next level good. So I would have to go and play, and there's no knock on this. It was just my decision. I didn't want to have a bad experience. I didn't want to go over there and be stuck. And there's plenty of like horror like situations where players will go over there and say, yeah, we're going to pay you 3,000 euros a month. And we're going to have, we'll get you like a car for you and your roommate. And we're going to put you guys up in an apartment together. Mm-hmm. And then you get there, and then the money's not coming in. And then there's like a car that's split between like 4 people.
Right.
Not just 2. I mean, they basically just lie. They lie to you essentially. They're just like, there's like there's no board or regulations like the NBA or the NFL. Like we have standardized here. There's just not enough money, I feel like, in it. Even though it's crazy because volleyball is such a massive sport when you go over to like France, or you go over to Italy, mm-hmm. or you go over to Germany or Poland. Those are the clubs and the leagues that are. It's just like soccer, right? The Premier League, Serie A, Ligue 1, all that kind of stuff. If you're not playing in one of those leagues, they're gonna try to like finagle you as much as possible, which is shitty.
Yeah, I mean it's tough. I mean, yes, it's super shitty, but it's also like that sport's not bringing in like racks.
Totally, right?
So it leaves yourself open to those types of finaglings.
So I didn't want to take that risk and show up in a place where I'm now like not getting paid, and then now I have to like go home because I just like can't afford to live anywhere. Yes, like I took out a student loan to go overseas and go to school, but I'm still going to school. I'm traveling, and I'm getting a good university program, sick place. I'm in the middle of London. Right. So that's the other thing as well. If you're in a bad position and you're over in like, I don't know, Norway or Finland, it's cold as shit over there. They speak a different language, right?
And it's not like you're not like in the middle of a cool place in Finland. You're in like the outskirts of a small village.
Exactly.
You're not in London. You're not in Denmark. You're not like in those cities where you might be able to, but you're not usually in those types of places.
Right. Exactly. So that's where it's also just a little bit more difficult. Like I just wanted to be more centralized, same language. If I'm going to be over there for 9-10 months. and I'm still going to school. So then I'm going to school with all these like other friends and homies, and now there's all these other sports teams that are on campus, and we're all hanging out. We're all in the dorms. It's just a college freshman experience again, and now you're just doing it at like 22, 23. And it's like, okay, that doesn't sound too bad when you're looking at it that way.
Yeah, I guess
It's a guaranteed good time.
Yeah, I guess when we went over there, you're like, all right, man, because you were like on the way of the calm down. On the way in Long Beach, we were both, out there getting it.
You were big time on the calm down.
I was way past my curve.
Like you cannot catch me at the bars.
Yeah.
Watch me just crush FIFA all night.
Yeah, I just couldn't. I think when I hit that 9 to 5 life, it was pretty much dead for me.
Well, and also you'd never liked the bars anyways, and we've also done every house party in the book because we've been there for 4-5 years.
Let me put it like this: Long Beach isn't like the bars are great in Long Beach.
It's not like we're going to Nashville.
Right. The bars, there was 4 bars that were really, really for college party bars on 2nd Street.
Solid
bars. Normally slammed, full of people.
Right.
Most of the time, never I didn't have money for buying drinks.
No.
I didn't get a fuck ton of drinks at
and there's
bars.
Also no drink specials. Like you go over to Bama, right? And you go to their main college town.
Right.
Thirsty Thursdays, you're getting shots for $2.
Right.
It's just that's crazy.
Yeah, not happening out there. You're going to these bars, full price, drinks suck. And hey, you know what? Little insider baseball. I'm going to those bars to pick up chicks before I was married or in a relationship.
Sure.
I am not a bar pickup chick guy. I don't have that swag.
Tommy's got that game.
I don't have that game. And these bars were impossible to talk to people in.
Just bad. Yeah,
loud,
bad dynamic.
They were. Then you get hit and misses. Sometimes you go out there, you see all your friends. All the friends are going. Good time. But for whatever reason, most of the time they was just a miss. And the house parties in Long Beach got rolled within an hour.
Instantly.
If it was a good house party where there was even just a decent amount of crowd there, instantly rolled. And it makes sense because most of these college houses were in some of the most expensive parts of Long Beach.
Yeah, full on residential areas, and
there's homes and families.
There's a reason why Long Beach is a commuter school, because there's no college town really. There's college area ish. There's bits and pieces, but if you're going to a house party, there's no frats or sororities really.
And but they're on the beach, and they are pretty, and they're not frat life, USC frat life.
No.
They're not it's very toned down and much more douchey and not
it's just a house amongst residential area basically.
Right. And the parties out there I hear were fine. I never even tried to go to one. I mean, we had some sports. I never went to one.
I went to one. I think I lasted an hour and a half.
Yeah, we did go to one.
We went to one, and it was in Belmont-ish area.
Yeah,
and there was the basement. That's
because I worked with one of the guys who.
That's right. That's right.
Wasn't a frat.
And we showed up, and then we knew no one. We were getting a bunch of weird looks, and then we said what's up to the dude. We hung out for maybe an hour, and we're okay, see ya. So. I hear you, right? It's not like we're going over and running a crazy town and party life. It's dude, we're over it. We're over it.
It's not like LA where there's a bunch of new shit you can do. Long Beach in general is such an amazing place, though.
It's just a vibe. It's great to hang out, go do things during the day, go hang out, walk around,
go play golf, hang out with your buddies. The food scene's great out there.
Totally.
The houses are interesting. Just being in Long Beach is very calming. In general for me to this day because of that experience. Just being around your guys and having fun and hanging out, all that stuff was unreal. But if you're talking about party scene, not a party scene.
Pretty non-existent. Yeah, it's very few and far between.
Looking at it, I'm sure 4th Street has some fun bars. I'm sure now I'd probably be a bit more adventurous.
We blew it. We never made it over to 4th Street. Or Broadway. That would have been kind of cool.
Never did Broadway.
Little divey. That's the vibe it gives me. But Maybe one day we can pop through. We can, pop over there during the day or afternoon or something like that.
Maybe do a Long Beach weekend just for you and I, and just play golf over there.
That'd be fun, man.
Do like Skylinks.
Yeah,
Elbow.
I would love that. That'd be a blast. But bringing it back around, you were going somewhere where I was ramping it up.
You were, because we had a talk
for London.
Now this is Andrew and I lived. No, let's put it like this, and we never really talked about. We've mentioned it. You and I lived with each other across, like legitimately almost this close from each other.
Basically.
From this mattress, this side of the couch to that side of the couch, which is an arm's length. Slept in the same room together.
Yep.
4 years?
We even had matching bunk beds that we separated.
That we separated for 4 years, right?
4 years, yeah.
And we spent, I would say, 3.5 of those years for every waking moment with each other.
Totally. Yeah.
So by the last half of it, when I was fully entrenched in video games, working 9 to 5,
yeah,
and you were redshirting,
yeah,
maybe the last year then, we kind of like weren't as close as we once were.
No, I would say we were still close, but our schedules were just completely ass backwards.
It wasn't even close to each other.
No.
I would say we were close, very close. But
we would do a lot of stuff during the week.
Right.
But then I would have like a shit ton of like homework because I was still trying to like grind through like kinesiology. Mm-hmm. So I'd go through spurts, but
you had
to have your
freshman, sophomore, junior red shirt, right? Or do you senior red shirt?
I did 4th year red shirt.
So your senior red shirt. So you didn't get to really party that hard freshman year when most people get to hang out and party. I mean, you still did.
Did a bunch of house parties.
But you didn't get to like do like a true Thursdays, and you were very into possibly getting a playing time. So even drinking back then wasn't super, super interesting to you.
Yeah, for sure.
So like by the time you got to senior year and you were able to redshirt,
right,
in a house full of drinkers,
right, we're like,
all basically redshirt at the same time as you.
It's game on.
Like Matt redshirt at the same time as you. Drew wasn't on the team. Davis was on the team, I think.
Yeah.
But wasn't really playing.
Right.
And Vinny was MIA.
Vinny was over at Golden West.
And
same with Chase.
Chase wasn't even in the house at that point.
He was not?
No, it was Matt, Vinny, Nick.
Yeah, and that was when Amato like tore his shit, I thought.
Yeah, Nick was out that year.
Yeah. Tough.
Drew, Davis, me, you.
Mm-hmm.
Because Nick lived in the house with us for sure at that time.
Yeah. And we were getting after it because no one was playing.
No one was playing.
Right.
So you guys were raging.
Away weekend, team goes away. Yeah, it was tough. Looking back on it. But, what else are you going to do? What else are you going to do?
You were 21?
Yeah,
22?
21.
You were getting it.
Right.
I mean, there's nothing wrong with that. I was just saying, like...
Would have been way better if I had my buddy just didn't have to work a stupid job, Trader Joe's.
And then...
Where did that take you?
Nowhere. Nowhere. Had to pay the bill, though, unfortunately.
I know.
It's such a bummer that I had... So, like, yeah, then I worked at First American. But anyway, so the reason why I'm saying that is because you were turning up.
Over in London.
Even senior year, you were like... Still tearing it up. Not as bad.
Fifth year?
Yeah.
Way more toned down.
But still, you were getting it.
Yeah, Friday,
Saturday, getting it, hanging out.
Yeah, of course.
And then so I thought going into London was the final calm down. I thought my buddy is going to turn down. You even said something.
What did I say to you?
Before leaving, you're like, yeah, I think like I'm going to really lock in on school here. I'll have some good volleyball that I can play and be like the guy and get my reps in that I actually want to play. Mm-hmm. And like, I don't know anyone out there, so I don't think I'm going to be going like crazy.
Right. Little did I know.
Little did you know, you hit the fucking jackpot.
100%. Dude.
And you went and you turned up to 12.
Yeah, I had no idea the schedule. I had no idea who I was going. Yeah, I had no idea who I was going out there with.
Right.
Went out there with like 7 or 8 other Americans. All the English people are like dope as fuck. Drinking is just, yeah. Of course I'm going to drink Wednesday after a match. Why wouldn't we? That's normal.
Right.
We have drinks on the train on the way back home.
Right.
Like, dude, we're bringing out like handles of vodka, team buses. We're just throwing it back.
Yeah, drinking culture is crazy out there.
It's wild, right? Yeah. So then it's almost like a breath of fresh air or almost like a oh my God, this is what it's like?
Yeah, you can have fun. And it's like the first time you really get to, like, in a cool ass city, get a party and drink. And also you're traveling and you get to meet some of your, like, you know, one of your, like, new really great friends. The wife, your eventual wife, gets to move out there and hang out with you when you're out there.
Yeah, that was a lot of fun.
So, I mean, it's just so funny. I just wanted to recap that because sometimes I'll just be by myself and think about that time for you.
So epic.
And just think, wow, what a unreal decision by you to, like, say, you know what, like, volleyball's pretty much done, but I'm going to squeeze the last little juice out of it.
Right. And I wasn't ready to close that chapter just yet.
Because you got robbed your fifth year.
I mean, I played some matches. I just felt like there was some more on the table that it's weird, you know, riding off into the sunset. You have like your competitive career, I guess.
Yeah.
Because that's all I did. That's all I know. That's all, like, I even coached, you know, like working. Mm-hmm. I had a job in volleyball. That was just like my life, essentially. Living with volleyball players. Mm-hmm. I just wasn't ready to close that chapter. So then when that, like, opportunity presented itself, I'm like, you know what? That doesn't sound so bad. That sounds pretty great, actually.
Yeah.
Travel, go around. I'm going to be in the middle of Europe, and, like, flights are very inexpensive.
Yeah, you go on one of those EasyJet flights for, like...
Yeah, you go to Ryanair, pay like £70 to go to, like, wherever the hell you want out, honestly, in like 2 hours.
Right.
Round trips for like $100.
Yeah, to, like, really awesome, dope areas.
Yeah. Go to Italy, go to France, go to wherever you want.
Where's the Blue Lagoon at that you went to?
Wow, Iceland. There we go. Yeah.
We're over here watching, we've been throwing games on the background. It's primetime sports, you can't blame us. And the Golden State Warriors are surprising this year. I think they made some moves that is exactly what they needed, which is surprising. They got Buddy Hield, who's an unreal shooter.
Okay. I was going to say, give it to us. I haven't watched anything.
Kyle Anderson, probably.
Oh, he's on the Warriors now?
Warriors.
I cannot stand him.
He's tough, but he's a perfect Warriors guy. He's that weird hybrid 4-5 he can play. He kind of has a little bit of a mid-range game and loves to do the gritty, dirty work where maybe if Draymond Green is being a fucking idiot and can't play.
He rivals Sean Marion for worst, ugliest looking jumper 100%. Of all time.
It was never that bad.
No.
But it, like, progressively got way worse as years went on.
It's an eyesore to look at.
Yeah, now it's pretty terrible. And then you got your Steph Curry balling. They have a bunch of really great role shooters. It's been pretty cool to see them come back.
They had to fill that void of Klay Thompson,
who's balling on the Mavs right now.
Yeah, it's crazy.
He's wet. I mean, he looks great on the Mavs. There's some really good basketball going on right now. A lot of really solid teams. Even the Pelicans look good. I mean, clearly the Lakers, Clippers, Suns. You got Boston. I mean, 76ers are in shambles, so that'll be interesting to hear what's going on. There's actually an investigation going on with Embiid right now, and I'm not sure why. I think it's because he's claiming injury and he's not injured. I think he's trying to sit the first half of the season.
Interesting.
Because by the time he gets to playoffs, he can never make it through. He's always got like something going on. And yeah, I mean, we could touch a little bit here about sports transitioning to that, all that good stuff here. We'll talk a little ball here. I mean,
that's interesting why he's like not playing. That's why he's not playing. Because I saw some reports and he's like not playing in back-to-back games.
He said, I'm no longer playing in back-to-back games. He'll take the fine.
Isn't that just a wild claim?
I mean, it's tough, right? Basketball's so hard, but at the same time, you're an athlete and that's your job. Like, and people pay, sometimes people pay like hundreds of dollars to come see you play. And it's your kid's favorite person. They don't have that money in droves. And you're just like, yeah, I'm not going to do it. But at least he told the fans up front he's never going to do it. So if you're a huge Joel Embiid fan, don't go to the doubleheader. Don't go to the second game of a doubleheader.
I mean, that's fair, but at the same time, I mean, he's not getting paid. If he's going to sit down, he's not getting paid, right? Or he's going to take the fine.
No, he gets paid. He just takes the fine from
I
the
see.
NBA. If he's like, there's no reason for him to sit, they just fine him. Which, I mean, you have to. But he makes he's just so rich.
Does that money go back to the team?
No one really knows. It's like the NFL fines. They say they donate to the charity at the end of the year. I don't think they do.
There's no chance.
I'm sure they try to. Hopefully they do, but
you don't think it's like for advertising or like entertainment purposes? It goes directly right back into the funds to keep growing the league. I'm sure
something's happening with that money. I really do hope they give it to charity. They should. I mean, the NBA is smart enough not to screw them over. But yeah, I mean, the Lakers coach JJ Redick just got his first loss to the Suns in a very close game where they had the lead, shouldn't have lost. LeBron James played like absolute dog shit, and they were still in the game. You couldn't tell me last year if the Lakers LeBron had a bad game, that the Lakers would still be in the game with a lead.
Very fair point.
And
very
also, I was listening to some basketball podcasts, saying they're very excited about JJ's coaching because it's the first era of the new old heads coming in, their coach.
Yeah.
Like Darvin Ham was still like old heads, Steve Kerr, all these like guys who played with MJ kind of near his prime-ish were coaching. Derek Fisher, all these other coaches, Luke Walton, these guys who kind of were younger still, but in the NBA never really played the level of basketball that maybe like JJ Redick and these guys did, and this next generation of people, where there's a lot more X's and O's, study of the game, and the level of like easy buckets started to come in, where three was really important. So they're saying JJ is the first generation of the new head coach. And cool. That eventually his style of coaching will get figured out. But for right now, everything's gonna look a little easier because the way JJ looks at the game is much easier.
It's just like, dude, if you're open, shoot.
Yeah.
Like I don't care if we're at 7 seconds into the shot clock. If you're open, shoot it. We probably, or we might not, get a better look than this. And I love that.
Yeah.
Because I felt like the Lakers and Darvin Ham, the biggest miss was that AD couldn't shoot an 18-foot jumper for whatever reason. I'm like, dude, he's one of the best mid-range shooters in the game.
He looks like, for the big man, he looks like he's unreal.
I don't want him.
Lost his three ball.
Yeah, completely. But you know what? He might get it back.
He's got it back right now.
It's that's awesome. It's probably because he's getting the green light to just fire away.
Right.
And AD was just a pick and roll oop guy. And I'm like, I don't
he's
want
so much versatile.
AD to be a pick and roll oop guy. 70% of the plays.
Right.
That's great. We're using him. I just feel like he's got so much more finesse, and he was great at that. But he just gets banged up, right? Just let him like play his game. Let him play it out in space, and then he can back someone down. Then he can do a little pick and roll.
Yeah, he's been looking unbelievable. He feels very slighted that he hasn't won Defensive Player of the Year. Rudy Gobert has won it back-to-back years, and every time Anthony Davis plays Rudy Gobert, he drops like 20 plus on him.
Yeah, I know.
So I think Anthony Davis is going.
Well, now it's going to be Wemby winning Defensive Player of the Year for the next decade.
I think Anthony Davis is putting up enough complaints about it for him to get a serious look. He is unreal defensively. The team looks more organized, a clear message. They have easier buckets. They understand who they are as a team. In past years, like when Lakers won the first championship with the AD LeBron first run of it, they were like a run and go team because LeBron was young enough still, and they had two bigs, which was kind of like going back to old school basketball, right. Which every team was going shoot, shoot, shoot. Lakers were going very mobile 4-5s and running you off everything.
Yeah,
and playing pretty hard nosed defense. And, that can drain a team, so they switched it up, and now they became this, like, pick and roll, pick and pop, LeBron AD game, and try to find shooters, but they never had shooters good enough for that. And now they look like a team that runs X's and O's. They find their right hands. Like, JJ is always a big guy of, like, laying the hot hand roll.
Totally.
Like, Austin Reeves had a couple huge games instead of, like, working back to LeBron on some of those games. They let AD or AR keep rolling. AD with multiple big games feeding him.
Mm-hmm.
He also, towards the end of last year, AD started hitting these like little like jump floaters, like towards the free throw line that he had to start learning how to hit because of the pick and roll game. And he is moved that now to this season as well.
And we'd love to see that.
It looks unstoppable.
We'd love to see that. I mean, he's 7 feet tall, He's got a 7'8" wingspan. I don't know, just long as hell. No one can stop
just
that.
Throw it up there and, gets it going. So, I mean, I'm excited for basketball this year. I think it's going to be a really, really fun year. I don't know who, the clear favorite is so far. Boston, how young they are and how good, their team is. I would assume probably your front runners right now, but we'll see. A lot of time left. There's rumors that Lakers are looking at Zach LaVine to bring back. I know Lonnie Walker just became a restricted free agent off of Boston's team. Mavs look unreal. So a lot of good basketball to keep your eyes on here.
I mean, I feel like it's too early in the season to be looking elsewhere, but maybe you can make an argument and say, if we don't think we got it, then maybe it is time to make a move so that they can build that chemistry early and often. This is maybe me. I haven't watched a whole bunch yet. I like what we got going on at the moment. I don't think we can obviously look elsewhere, but if we make a move right now, I think that might just throw a wrench in the system. Let's get maybe a little bit more established of what our clear identity is 15 games into the season. Mm-hmm. And then we can maybe look to add a piece.
Yeah.
That's my idea. I don't know though. Well, we can track it and see what's going on. But.
Yeah, I know LeBron has said he's a huge fan of Zach LaVine, and we have a bunch of first-round picks. And historically, when LeBron likes somebody and there's first-round picks available, the organization gets bullied into giving it up. I hope that the Lakers at this point, if we have a chance to go for Zach LaVine, who maybe can add another 2-3 years on top of this roster we have going on, and bring in that X factor to possibly get us to a chip, maybe worth giving up a couple first rounders, unless you have a chance of getting this white kid on Duke. I can't remember his name right now. Cooper Flagg.
Oh my God, Cooper Flagg is
unreal.
He's so good.
If you can get Cooper Flagg, Dalton Connect for the next couple years on your team, there should be no reason why you're giving up any first rounders.
But we're not going to get the first overall pick.
Well, we just have to be in the option, then it's a lottery.
Yeah, but we're not going to be that bad.
Hopefully not. But hopefully we can, somehow swing some to get some. You know what I mean? Don't give up first round picks for nothing here.
God, could you imagine if the Spurs get the first overall pick and then they got Wemby and Cooper Flagg?
Yeah. And they have Chris Paul, who maybe stays and does an assistant coach for them. But yeah, basketball.
Is he over there now? I didn't know that.
He's playing point guard right now for them.
Interesting.
It's sad because it's like, damn, man, you're never gonna get a chip. You're like me, possibly one of the best point guards to ever play the game, and now that it's sad how players get judged so heavily on championships when it's.
I know, dude.
When it's really not especially in the NBA, you have to have so many things. And even NFL go right for you. You have to have one of the best 5 players on your team. If you maybe are 6 or 7 and you're always good, maybe not good enough. Got to have pretty good coaching that understands rotations and how to work a team. And you need to have full buy-in from the top down in order to reach those types of goals. And that's hard to find, especially in today's NBA. A lot of these guys aren't built for that anymore. And I think the NBA culture is changing again back to a bit more of not laissez-faire, don't give a shit. It's,
God, I hope so, man. It was hard to watch. The NBA was, I feel like every single year, stars were all over the place.
Right.
And this was maybe one of the first off seasons where there was only Karl Anthony Towns trade. Was that the only one?
That really a superstar got moved. That's the only one I can think of off the top of my head.
That's the only, the more I watch, obviously I'll get in tune with what's happening here, but I feel like that's the main thing.
Yeah, those pants from Charles Barkley are horrendous. I thought I don't fit into pants well. His pants on, that man needs to get on Ozempics quick.
He's looking like he's got some peg legs, dude. He's like a pirate out there.
Tough. He does not need that tie of pants. Touching a little bit more on sports here. Chargers, I thought, great win over the Saints. Had to have it. Saints look not great without Derek Carr.
Oh my God, they look abysmal, man.
I think the Chargers have a lot of things to look forward to.
I think so.
We have no star power in running back. We have 2 guys. We have a great committee going right now.
Yeah.
And we have 0 star power at wide receiver.
None. Lad McConkey looked great.
Ladd McConkey is going to be a great all-time Wes Welker slot receiver.
He's going to be a great number 2.
But we have no options at wide receiver.
Yeah, I know.
And we're still getting dubs and looking pretty defense is looking stout. Offensive line looks good at spurts, which
at times for sure
will get better.
Yeah.
I just think that Chargers are, if Harbaugh could keep it up where he's at and keep recruiting, getting guys to actually come play for them, we're looking good.
That's going to be the main thing. I did like the last 2 weeks. It's looked like Herbie's been way more involved. I felt like last time we came on the podcast, we were talking about Herbie he's not rolling out and doing a lot of play action rollouts yet, but he's creating on his own, and he's got that little bit of a dog in him too. What I saw, and he's like hyping up the squad, putting his shoulder down. He's a big dude.
He is top 5 most mobile quarterback.
Yeah, he's got some wheels, man.
He gets downhill quick. He has an absolute cannon as an arm. So throwing a ball across his body,
arguably just as accurate on the run than he is in the pocket.
I would completely agree. And I've always thought it was a huge miss that teams don't let him come out of the pocket more often.
Right.
And he just needs to get smarter where he's taking his hits, because historically he wants to take a safety hit because he is bigger than those dudes.
Right.
I don't know how big he is exactly, but I'm pretty sure he's above 6'3".
I think he's 6'6", 235.
Right, that's a big dog.
Yeah, it's a massive dude.
And he's like
He's
strong.
He's like Josh Allen.
He's strong.
Yeah.
He's faster than Josh Allen.
You think so, top speed-wise?
Yeah, let's look at their 40 times. I bet you he's faster.
Ooh. Let's look that up real quick.
You got that? But yeah, so
I put Josh Allen a little bit more of a little bit more shifty and just as good top speed. But I'm curious, what do we got here? That's all I really had for the Chargers that I wanted to talk about. I'll bring us into the next topic while you look to look up those 40 times here. The main one,
Josh Allen, 4.75.
Oh wow, he's got him.
And
Herbie's a 4.6.
4.6.
Whoa,
and he's also 1 inch taller.
God damn.
He's running 1 second faster, 1 inch taller, and the same weight.
Damn.
So
hey now.
I'm telling you, Herbert, the best he ever looked in Oregon was when he had to roll out and he'd hit wide receivers way downfield, square in the basket, and they dropped the ball.
It's so ridiculous.
Dude, they maybe could have won a national championship if they had an elite wide receiver, and he's still dealing with that today. But yeah, I'm changing to baseball here. Our last little sports topic.
Or you want to do Richardson?
Oh yeah, let's stick on football.
Let's keep it football real quick.
Richardson today.
Anthony
Richardson on the Colts. Young quarterback, 23, 22.
Yeah.
Starting Colts quarterback.
Second year.
I think he sat down for a couple drives.
It was strange, dude. It was after one play, second down, and he scrambled a little bit, and now it was going to be third down and 8 or something like that. And yeah, starts tapping his helmet and asks to be subbed out of the game.
Gets subbed out of the game.
Wild.
Thinking maybe hurt, maybe injured, something was firing.
Right.
And if you are a player, and so it comes out later that he talks to the post-game interview people and says, honestly, I was just tired. You can never say that.
You cannot.
As your starting quarterback.
No, you can't release those cards, man.
I'm
folding.
I'm so glad he's being honest to the team, and I love the transparency that he brings in his post-game interviews and how genuine he is. Man, for your own safety moving forward, you can never say something that dumb again.
No.
You can say my knee was clicking, my shoulder was firing, I felt like I couldn't see straight. I was getting lightheaded.
Right.
I felt like I was hindering my performance out there by being on the field.
You can't say you're just tired. You needed a break. So, bro, game is on the line. They drafted you 4th overall, I forget.
And he's good.
He is arguably one of the biggest, most athletic guys on the football field across the league.
Yeah.
And dude, he's 6'5", 6'4", ran a 4.4 40 at 230. He's an absolute tank.
Big dude.
And he's a howitzer for an arm.
And can actually throw accurately in the pocket as well.
He's got like the lowest completion percentage
Really?
in the NFL.
There's a couple of passes I saw that he was diming up.
He struggles.
He struggles.
He really struggles.
Okay, so he's mobile.
He's just super mobile. He's trying to learn, and like he's kind of like your Cam Newton kind of like player.
Vibe, okay.
But he's trying to like rein it in. He's got it. He just throws 12-yard slant routes like 60 miles an hour and just like blows up the receiver. He just throws cannons at dudes, and it's just like he doesn't have a lot of touch, a lot of feel.
Right.
They were hoping that they can. He just historically has not played very much football. He played at Florida. He barely played like quarterback like in high school, like barely played quarterback like in college, only played for like a year and a half. And they're strictly just the Colts drafted him strictly because of the potential upside that this guy brings. And they were hoping they can rally him in and corral him a little bit.
Doesn't
he can
look
learn.
What's going to happen?
We'll see. Doesn't look like it. I don't know. It looks like he just fucking gives up whenever he wants to.
Yeah, it's
hurt. Crazy.
He's been hurt a couple times, I guess. Pretty bad.
He has. He like tore his AC joint. His like his first year in the league. I could be wrong. Something with his shoulder.
And then didn't he hurt his knee?
And then he hurt his hip.
Yeah.
Right. He's been really banged up.
Yeah.
I just felt like it was just such a strange thing to do because you're just like the face of the franchise. And Joe Flacco is going to be great. He's going to be an instant upgrade for them offensively.
Yeah.
And it's going to make the Colts a playoff contending team potentially, I think. Because they got some weapons on offense. They've got Jonathan Taylor. They've got Josh Downs.
Alec Pierce
and Michael Pittman. Right?
They look pretty good.
And they got some guys on their team, and I feel like Joe Flacco coming in experienced again, and reharping on our theory from last week. Just let Richardson just sit.
Now it's time.
Let him just learn. You can't throw this man into the fire if he's only played like a year, maybe two of like college football at quarterback,
right?
And he's running RPO every single time.
And RPO and pro does not work because the defensive ends aren't going to fall for those like fake handoffs.
Yeah.
And they are fast enough to catch you whenever they want.
Yes. They're so athletic.
They are unbelievably athletic and long. So it's not going to happen in those instances unless you have some unreal like running back that can catch the ball and your quarterback can throw dimes on the run and can run like Anthony Richardson can.
Right.
But those are far and few between. Yeah, they're sitting him. He can't come back in the game. This decision's for the rest of the year.
And I think that's for the best.
If he says, I'm tired, well, you can enjoy a nice long season break now.
Yeah. Honestly, I think that's going to only do him better. I think it's a smart move by the franchise. I knew, and the Colts had to know, and I mean the whole football world had to know that Anthony Richardson was not ready for NFL football.
He doesn't look like it, I guess, from what you're telling me.
No, he's just not ready. I mean, he's a stud. There's moments, and there's 100% moments and brilliance out there. I'm not taking that away from you at all because you're like that one arm throw like off his like back foot on like week 2 where he like chucked it like 70 yards in the air. Yeah, of course. Like that was unbelievable. That's like the potential, but him just like sitting there in the pocket and like going from one read to the second read is it's non-existent.
Yeah. Which is in the NFL, I think more and more now you have to be able to have to throw it in the pocket, and then the mobility of who you are is just an amazing secondary option.
Totally.
Like it cannot be it can't be a Mike Vick, I'm a mobile quarterback. Can't be, like Deshaun Watson used to do a good job of like the mobility of it. The guy who is on the Baltimore Ravens, Lamar Jackson, does an amazing job of that. Totally a great pocket passer, can throw on the run, and is completely and utterly mobile when needs to run.
Oh, yeah.
So I think that's the traditional now, like, look of a great quarterback.
Agreed.
But, I mean, he can't play anymore. You can't say I'm tired and your team needs you and you quit.
You're quitting on your team, essentially.
As a quarterback. Because, maybe next time you just need to throw the rock. You don't even need to really use that much energy.
Yeah, you just need to call a play, dog. Maybe it's a run play.
Yeah, maybe you get in there, it's a run play.
Maybe it's a screen.
Maybe even change the lineup and say, hey, I want to throw a slant.
It's just not the mentality that you want to relay to your team.
No.
You know, you are the focal point of the franchise when you're the quarterback, and that's just not the message you want to deliver. I don't know.
Good move by the franchise to say, you know what, you want a break? We got you. We got you, player.
I think it's only going to help them, honestly, because then he's going to get a chance to learn. He's going to study under Joe Flacco.
Which is great.
He's been
going to be a great coach for him.
Everywhere under the sun, right?
Yeah.
He's got all the experience in the world.
And he has like no real reason not to like give that guy all the information because Joe Flacco probably won't get that job next year if he's even in the NFL next year.
I feel like it's just he wants to walk away whenever he wants to.
Right. And whenever teams stop offering him millions of dollars just to sit behind people.
Yeah. But then you know what? You come in, you look like a stud.
And it's just, again, these people, like even Sam Darnold had a couple, slow weeks, still looked great.
Yeah.
It's still like, coming out there playing really hard teams and getting wins, or getting their close losses. But moving on to a little bit of World Series baseball, because I've been fully entrenched. My wife's a huge Yankees.
Oh, yeah.
Is a Yankees fan and really clicks into the meeting most of the time, the playoffs. And they're playing the Dodgers right now. And I don't watch a lot of Dodgers baseball. I don't watch a lot of baseball during the regular season, to be honest, at all. But watching the Dodgers coach consistently sub in pitchers to come in for one batter, one out, sometimes even a couple strikes, and them sitting the next inning is completely and utterly ridiculous to watch.
It's too much, man.
The game is moving into such a great space right now with the speed of it and the pitch clock and what's going on and how you can't rotate infielders all the time and can't rotate outfielders all the time and have them play weird positions where the hot zones are at and these loopy singles can't happen. Like the stealing the bases have gotten more interesting. They're bringing the old school game a little bit more back with a new flair of it. Mm-hmm. This subbing the pitcher thing is killing momentum for the game. It's insanely boring to watch because some of the fun of baseball, if you're not at the game and you're really into it, it's a high intense game, is watching a pitcher duel.
100%.
Like watching two pitchers absolutely throw their arms out for 6 to 7 innings, maybe even going longer, and throwing unreal games. You don't get any of that versus the Dodgers. The Dodgers will play a starting pitcher for 3 innings.
It's crazy.
Bring in like a short reliever, a long reliever, another short reliever, and they bring in these elite pitch ball people where they throw an unreal fastball up to 101 miles an hour. Mm-hmm. And they bring in a changeup guy who just throws changeups, throws changeups from anywhere from 85 to 90 down to 70.
It sounds crazy.
And they move like crazy. And then he'll bring in a curveball guy or a man who throws submarine. And he just brings in these guys they're like one-hit wonders. Mm-hmm. And I get it. It's an amazing strategy. But man, is it fucking boring to watch.
I just feel like it just takes away from the art of the game a little bit.
I don't know what they need to do to and hey, congratulations to the Dodgers. You changed the game of baseball. I don't think any team in the MLB should look at somebody who has an elite pitch anymore as not a viable option to be on your team. But like most elite teams, they're in that change the game in that way. Rules need to change as well. I think if you sub a pitcher in, has to be in between batters. You can never sub a pitcher in the middle of a batter.
Yeah, in the middle of a batter is just insane to me.
Insane. It'd be like if you're shooting free throws and you got foul as a very poor free throw shooter. Oh, Shaquille, sorry, you're out. Let's put in Derek Fisher.
Right.
Quick sub on that, and then Derek Fisher, blop, blop, 2 out of there. Like, that's not, like, you fucked up.
Right.
You didn't get the outs you had. You're below the count. You got Stanton across from you. Deal.
Right.
Now you're in the hole. This is where we take advantage. But now you can go, oh, Stanton can hit the curveball. Bring in my guy. It's like, what are we talking about? You put yourself in the situation. Like,
I also like going back a little bit on a pitcher's duel. I think it's also a pitcher and batter duel at the same time, because then you start playing some mind games.
Right.
First time you see a guy, I want to set him up with this pitch, and then you run an orchestrated kind of set of pitches to what their strengths are and weaknesses are.
Right. And
you kind of bait them in a little bit, and you give them the one you like. They like early maybe, and then throw in some junk, And then vice versa. Like, oh, he got me striking out on this pitch. And now that's like in the batter's head. I like the mental side of that as well. Pitcher duel going back and forth between teams and momentum, I agree with. But I also want to give a different spin on the batter's perspective also when you're going against the same pitcher for the second time.
And you hear like, I've was like watching some like YouTubers who are pitchers or professional ex-pitchers, and they talk about that where like, I'm going to set this guy up with I'm going to strike him out with this fastball, even though I know it's his favorite pitch. I'm going to go at him, get him out with it. And the next time I'm going to come at him, I'm just going to hit him with nothing but junk the whole time. He'll never see another fastball from me for the rest of the day.
Right.
Because he'll be waiting for that fastball again.
Sitting on
it.
And
he'll never see it from me again.
Mm-hmm.
And you can't do that. Like my father-in-law used to pitch in the minor leagues and all that stuff. And he talks about, a lot of his takes can be hot and cold, but he does talk pretty, strongly about how pitchers don't want to go pitch for a coach like that because you never get to an inning or a stretch where you can thrive. Like Kershaw was throwing, I'm pretty sure, a perfect game or a shutout.
Or no hitter.
Yeah, something like that.
Through like 6.5 innings, right?
7-8 innings.
Right.
Around like almost like 4 batters left where he had a chance to finish it out.
You're like, oh, you're at your pitch count.
And he yanked him. You can't, that's like sacrilege.
You cannot do that. Just because the man threw 102 pitches, then he's just, see ya.
I think in that place, as a coach, I'd rather ride or die with that player.
I mean, he's cooking.
Right. Like if we lose this game because I kept this guy in the game too long to have a chance at the perfect game, I don't think anyone would be like, why'd you do that? Maybe in the World Series, I think that's maybe where it started to happen. I don't know. You can't, it's Kershaw. You can't, it's not some random bum who you like kind of threw into the second game of a playoff series and you don't really need.
Right.
It's your ace. Gotta let your ace ride. So, hopefully the MLB can figure something out. Maybe you can't sub in between batters, and you can have to see a minimum of 3 hitters prior to subbing, which I think they did make a rule that you have to see at least 1 batter, but you may have to finish out 3 batters. Either they strike out, walk, or hit, or get out. You have to see at least 3, because that would limit who he can bring in, how many times he can bring in. Like tonight, though, it does backfire. Your starter doesn't do that hot. Yankees won game 4. And then you bring in your mid-relievers, and they're not doing too great. And then you're kind of screwed because now you're in this game of, well, we lost this game because I'm not going to waste more, pitching. And this poor guy, Honeywell, they let this guy out here to die. They were down by 2 runs, and then they scored 1 more run. And at that point, when they scored 1 more run, he just said, I'm not subbing you out. It was some guy that doesn't normally close for them. It was the top of the 8th, so they needed the runs because it's just going to go back to the Yankees to get their last, 3 outs. GG,
Mm-hmm.
And they didn't stop him, and he just let Honeywell throw 45 pitches, 50 pitches.
And just getting hosed.
Get like 7-8 runs on him.
Yeah.
And it's just like, man, that's tough for a manager. You gotta send that guy a care package after this because you've done nothing but like anytime a pitcher starts to struggle, you sub them out. Even when they're playing well, you sub them out, and then you're like, okay, we lose this game, and you just let one of your pitchers go out and die. Like that would suck for me mentally as a pitcher. Be like, man, you just left me out here to sink or swim.
Yeah, I'm looking like a fool at this point, and you're not going to rescue me. Yeah, it just feels like you're kind of throwing in the towel at that point.
Yeah.
I don't know what else they could do.
They got to do something. Because baseball is fully trending forward.
I'm with it. I was never a baseball fan. Even in like the World Series at times, like I would have a hard time. It's just the pace of play, dude. The pace of play is everything for me. If I have 20 seconds in between, there's so much downtime in baseball.
It's like golf.
Yeah, I know. If it's not moving quick enough, football is great because they do recaps, they do replays, they do personnel changes, they explain what's going on. So like it's constantly, I feel like I'm learning a little bit. I'm learning more about players. Mm-hmm. There's just too much downtime with nothing being said in baseball, and that's now got me back. Maybe there's a way you can have 5 active pitchers for every game.
Yeah, but then it comes to a place where you're like, man, our fifth pitcher went out there. We're still losing by 10. And you get those like infielder pitchers that come in, throw those loop balls.
That's what I'm saying. You can only throw
5 active hit, period.
You can only start 5 active. Like you can only activate 5 pitchers.
Right, and those 5 pitchers have to pitch.
They have to pitch the entire game.
Right.
And now,
like
then there's rules. You go to extras. Mm-hmm. Now from innings 10 through 11, you get a 6. Mm-hmm. And then every 2 innings, you get another pitcher. Something along those lines. I feel like that's very, very doable. And then if we go into like inning 12 or 13, now anyone's on the table. Because now you don't want to throw another pitcher. Great. You can throw any infielder you want, outfielder, whatever. Absolutely. I just feel like there needs to be something like that. I don't know. There hasn't been any rules. Baseball is weird where like they are very traditional, but at the same time, they rock the boat with a bunch of stuff with like making the running bags bigger, the bags bigger. They put in the pitch count. They started at one point having a runner on second base in extras. You know,
a lot
like
of things helping the teams out.
It's not stagnant, so I think they need to do something. I'm with you, dude. At this point, it's a strategy. Sure, it kills the game though for a viewer. In our opinion.
Absolutely. I think you're right, buddy. Well, I mean, we're here at the end of the podcast. Been a great one. I've really enjoyed it. You got anything for the people here, buddy?
Yeah, you fools. Like, comment, subscribe.
We got to do that at the top of the hour. Now it's an hour and 6 minutes in. Maybe like an hour for you guys. Like, comment, subscribe. Kids, you guys, nothing gives us everything. Keeps us the juice going for us.
It really does. Come join the Cabbage Party.
Yeah, just come here, a couple buddies, talk, tell your friends. We're great guys to get to know. Talk to us in person. You have a topic you want us to talk about? Send it in. You want to hear us take awful takes on hockey? Send them in. we'll happy to talk about whatever you guys want. So yeah, like, comment, subscribe. Because we're on the Cabbage. We're not going anywhere. And just a reminder, keep swinging.